baby.
Back a whole year later from this
No.
absolute madness, and it potentially is a bit madder. So I'm just going to open straight up with, why did this cast keep on telling everyone everything?
Do you know how many texts I've had off like my friends and family and stuff that are like avid fans, avid viewers? Some of them have been like, I don't even want to watch it because so much has been given away.
It's so silly. Like, come on, guys, behave.
I think we notice it more as well. Like I can tell some stuff, like I read between the lines, but I think it's because we've experienced it, like as to what people are saying on their stories. I can kind of tell if people are together or not, but I don't know whether the general public can or not. But yeah, everything they put out there is being picked up somehow. So
I know a fair bit of what is going to happen in the show, but I know now that things are happening that are like weeks and weeks and weeks in advance that are now in newspapers. I mean, even the fact that they put all of the Intruder casts in. Why have I seen them already?
I had to, I had to wait last year, fucking sat on my hands, not telling anyone. I was on the advert. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was announced the night before.
Because you came to my screening party. We had pictures, but we were like, we can't post them. And we were saying to people near us, like, don't post a picture of me and Sophie. Don't post a picture of us. We
were
can't.
Also like goody two shoes about it. Like hardly you were especially, you wouldn't follow anyone or anything.
Strict.
We wouldn't like post anything. But these guys are like, this is my best friend from the show, and
I know.
we hang out.
I know all the relationships. I know who's friends with who. And that's not from me knowing things. That's from me just looking on Instagram and I can see who your best mates are. So it's a bit of a game. So come on, cast. Behave.
Yeah, give us... Because so far, it's been a lot's happened so far. We're 2 weeks in. We've one dinner party down, one commitment ceremony down. And I'd say it's very wild so far.
Firing up.
Yeah.
Right. Shall we kick off with one of our couples, Ros and Thomas?
I really like them, and I really like them both. And I think that I love both their characters. I think they're very different from each other, but I don't think that doesn't mean it'll work. I'm rooting for them. I really like them. And their commitment ceremony, it just like really got me. Like I felt their emotions when they were sat on the couch and talking about obviously like that they had oh my God, I was going to say cremated the marriage. What's it called? What's it called?
They have consummated.
Consummated, thank you.
Fucked. They're fucked.
They're banged. But
it didn't go well.
No, I don't even... I really like resonate with Ros because I think that she obviously like wanted to take that step to understand whether she liked him, and that is a huge, sex can be a lot of things, and to some people it can be very casual, it can mean a lot or whatever, and it all falls in between. But I think obviously she was exploring that to see whether there was that connection, and I felt her so much when she was like that she didn't, because you could tell how much she wanted to, and like she felt guilty that she wasn't feeling it. They pull at my heartstrings. I really like them.
Yeah, I mean, I get why he is like, I'm not a test drive. Have a few snogs. It actually took me back to a date I had a long time ago, and it still haunts me now. I was in Trash Palace in Soho, and we're having a great time. I really liked him. I even remember his name. And we've been leading up to this date for ages. And then near the end of the night, he was sat on a stool, and I was in front of him in between his legs. And he kissed me, fully kissed me. And then he was like, no, I just need to check. I'm not feeling it. And I was like, oh, and then I was like, right, okay, no problem. I'm going to go. And then he got on the same train with me. He's like, oh, I'm going the same direction as you. I'm like, I don't know how to get out of this. I do not want to be near you. Leave me alone.
No, I couldn't do that. That's another level.
And it did take me back to that. And I did feel sad for that, like, test drive thing. But I don't think that she has any bad intentions whatsoever. I think she's the sweetest, loveliest, gentlest thing in the world. I think he's being a little awkward, and I think that's tricky for her. But he's also struggling as well. Like, I think he's struggling with the rejection a lot. And as much as people say, you know, you shouldn't put your past experience onto your new experiences, but we do.
Oh,
We're
it's
human, tough kids.
we're
I can't get away from it. I don't trust any man. You're all vile.
mm,
You know?
oh, my light's gone off. At 38% on this. Oh, we're back in action. I'll fed it. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah.
But I really hope that they do at least build a friendship, and by social media standards, it looks like they have.
Oh, yes, because I've written some notes. What I was gonna say was the reason that I really like them as well is the way they are speaking about each other on social media, whether they're in a romantic relationship or they're just friends, we obviously don't know yet. They are being so respectful and just gorgeous about each other. And that, like, seeing Thomas post about Ros and be like,
Yeah.
you know, I'll go and send us some love. And the pictures, did you see he printed all the pictures and sent them to her from the wedding? So whatever's happened with them, I feel like
Whatever the
I
end
feel like
is.
yeah, and I just feel like that. I feel like they're probably gonna go through a lot together. Like, this seems like a very deep
Big.
friendship or romantic connect, whichever it is, they've gone on a real journey.
I think either way, it's going to be absolutely huge for them. And you know what? I'm looking forward to watching them get happy. No matter what the circumstances, I want them to get happy. All right,
Yeah.
moving on. Nathaniel and Ella.
Dun, dun, dun.
We just actually opened up with last night, and what an absolute piece of history that was. How phenomenal. I was sat there, my eyes, my lip, everything's going. Like, what a
Mhm.
phenomenal thing to have a trans bride stand up on national television and go, "This is me." And the way that she spoke it, like, my mum
Oh,
gave birth. Oh, well,
it
dead.
was
I'm dead.
the one line where her mum said to her, "You want to be a girl?" She said, "I am a girl."
I am Ella.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
you know, that's a lot. And I think, you know, to skip back then to their relationship, you know, there's a lot to unpack there, really, isn't there? You know, there's a lot going on, and she must also be somewhat catching up with her life as Ella, and how wonderful that is. But
Mhm.
still, you know, you've got a whole new place to navigate from. Is my
Yeah.
expectation.
Yeah, no, that's so true. It's so hard with them because they've gone through some pretty hefty arguments already. Like that honeymoon. I mean, I saw a few things where it compared it to you and Thomas's. With the arguments. But
I don't know if that it quite competes with mine and Thomas's honeymoon, but it was rough.
yeah, I mean, it's so difficult. We do see such a short amount. Like, I know everybody's aware of this. We always say it, but I think that is probably the biggest, like, cut down of footage. That's 7 days in 10 minutes. Out of the whole series, that's the
Yeah, you're
biggest.
right.
It's condensed, and
Condensed.
it's crazy because that's when you get to know everyone and you spend so much time together, on that first week getting to know each other. And there's a lot that you don't see. A
Yeah.
lot of those, and in the evening, you have dinner and then you have a drink and you're like socializing with other people that are at the hotel as well. Like, there's so much that happens that we just unfortunately don't get to see. But
No.
having lived it, that was where, my husband and I made our biggest connection, really, because it's
Yeah.
so, so we only see a tiny proportion of that, and we only see the bits that obviously, bring the drama or have a point. I don't
A
know.
lovely moment or something. Yeah, you see the poignant moments, the most poignant
Mm,
moments. And they've got to do like 4 honeymoons in one episode. It's a lot. So
it's
I
yeah.
understand why it happens, but it is the most condensed time. But, you know, I think, I hope that they become something to each other. I think it's a shame, actually, because I bet that they would have been each other's most fierce allies if they weren't placed in this scenario of the relationship that they're now in, which is really sad, actually, because Nathaniel would have been there screaming for Ella, and Ella would have been there screaming for Nathaniel. But at the moment, they're going like this at each other, and it's
Mm,
actually quite sad.
yeah, no, I agree with that. And obviously, there's been a lot of spoilers and things, and we are aware of like how their story goes. But I agree with you. I hope that there's a place they get to where they're still friends or have a connection of some kind, just because it's such an
I hope
intense thing to
so.
go through. And they clearly went through it, those two. Like, those were real emotions on the honeymoon, those were real arguments and things like that. And also, there's a lot of love there. Like, when she did, her speech, Nathaniel was there by her side. So,
Yeah, and you know what? Have you noticed every time they actually have a tender moment, it's beautiful.
yeah.
It's beautiful. When they have tender moments at the commitment ceremony, when they embrace, like it was beautiful.
It really was. I think the difficulty is, and this is the same with a lot of couples, and it was the same with a lot of couples on our series, when you talk about like your preferences or what you were after in the beginning, it's very difficult to communicate that without it coming off like that's not what you wanted, or it coming across like rude. Well, I wanted X and you're X. And I feel like Nathaniel's been quite open and honest about what he asked for and what he was looking for, which I think, hats off to him for the honesty. But in this environment, it's difficult because it comes off as like, well, it's not you. And then it almost, makes him look worse
Mean.
for the things he's saying, but he's just being honest. And we all asked for things, we all had deal breakers. Like, me personally, was that they didn't have kids and that they wanted kids. If I'd have been given someone that already had kids, that would have been like huge for me. I'd have been, really upset about it.
Well, that's what's really difficult, isn't it? Because really, you know the nature of the show and you know the nature of how it goes. And so chances are you're going to get something that you didn't want. Even if
Yeah.
it's not entirely that person, you are going to get it. But then you have to go, is that right or wrong that you say, but I very specifically said that I did not want this. And now you're asking me to maneuver within this. But I have also said that I know myself and I know what I need. I know what I want. And I get that, Paul does a lot of that, you get what you need, not what you want. Thanks.
Yeah, cheers.
So I find their relationship at the moment, I find it one of the most entertaining. I'll give you
Yeah.
that. Definitely one of the most entertaining. And they both seem like fiery characters. I mean, she's brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. I do see why people have said me and Thomas in them a lot. I could see it.
Oh
Because
yeah. Yeah.
both strong, both headstrong, and both clashing. And it's such a shame that they can't just go, right, okay, let's take a minute, let's take a breath. How can we both come together and figure this one out?
Mm,
It's sad.
yeah. I agree. No, I really like them. I hope that there's a way forward for them with some kind of relationship. But I don't want either of them to leave because I want to keep seeing the fashion as well from them both. I'm
Oh,
obsessed with like they're like the ones where I'm like, ooh, what are they wearing?
yes,
Mm,
obsessed. Absolutely love it. They both look absolutely phenomenal. Like she turns
mm.
up. They
That
both
that
turn up.
yeah, the Versace dress with the like the paper clips or the
Pins,
thingies. Oh, unreal. Safety pins. Yeah.
unreal. And then she put the safety pins on her Instagram post, which I thought was a very nice touch. Like,
Yeah.
that woman does not miss detail.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think it's amazing that, all of the cast immediately embrace the trans um,
Mm.
speech that she gave. And it's just like, okay, great. I find this sort of thing so tricky because should she have to make that statement? No, she
Mm.
shouldn't. But we live in a world where it is necessary to talk about this subject. And actually, it's an amazing, brave thing that she did make that statement. It's sad that she has
Absolutely.
to. It's sad that we have to announce ourselves, but
Mm.
it's still so brave and phenomenal that she did it. Do you know what I mean?
I also 100% no, I agree with you. I also think though that by her doing that, it educates a lot more people. Like it's
That's,
it's
that's
not
the point.
for the people that understand, like what you just said there, that she shouldn't even have to do it. It's for the people that don't understand that, and it helps kind of them to. So it's like educating that next level of like that's what it is, and that's
100%.
why it's so powerful.
And what a phenomenal platform. And, you know, I said so many times last year with MAFS that I was very proud to be a part of a show that actually wasn't scared to push
Yeah.
boundaries. You know, when we were there and sat on that sofa, there were so many things that people would say on that sofa, and I'd go, that won't make the TV. That will not make it. And then I'm watching the TV, and it did
Yeah.
make it. And I'm like, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
That's an amazing
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I think we're getting a lot of that this series already. Like some real, just people really delving into stuff and like talking about topics. I do really like that, yeah, about this show.
But I think so far they're actually documenting the couple's journeys really well. And we're getting to see them grow and change, or not grow and change, you know, whatever is
Yeah.
happening with them. We are getting that documentation. That's really good. Shall
Mm.
we move on to someone who's had a fair bit of fire, and that is Laura and Arthur.
Yes. Interesting, because obviously at the beginning, Laura I feel for her because I was the girl that was the, you know, I don't know, my wedding episode was very, people thought a certain type of thing about me, and I think the same was said for Laura. But I didn't know that we were going to come back from that. Like, I wasn't quite sure about her personality, if she was like this very kind of, I don't know. But now she's opening up more. She, like, that couch session with them two was really, really nice.
Yeah, yeah, and it's nice. It's actually more enjoyable to watch them be happy than to not. It's actually more pleasant.
Absolutely.
I'm enjoying when they smile more. But like few things, I'm like, don't, just don't, like, just don't. Like, tell your mate. Don't tell the
Yeah.
nation. Like
mm, I
something.
I I like them, and I can see like
I like
why they've
them.
been matched together. And I think that Arthur, he's funny because it's like when he sat down on the couch and he said something a bit cocky, but then he like immediately kind of went back to being himself again and opening up. Like, I
Yeah,
think he just says these things.
he's
It's
quite
almost like a bit of a,
disarming. And you know
yeah,
when they were in the bath for the honeymoon and they had the whole Google the speech thing, I
yeah,
actually like. I immediately, at first, I'm like, Jesus, mate, you Googled your speech. Oh, I mean, he can't get by the fact that he says, I love you. Are you joking?
oh,
Like, stop it. Stop it. I mean, brilliant that I was cracking up. But when he was in the bath and he's like, you know, I came to a new country, I couldn't speak the language, and I've spent a lot of time trying to be other people to try and fit in.
yeah,
That makes perfect sense to me.
yeah,
So
yeah.
now I love Arthur. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. Arthur is one of my favorites, I would say.
Really? See,
Yeah, and
I
Laura is
enjoy
now
them as,
starting to like get on board with him. So win-win.
yeah.
I like watching them. I like them, and she's fiery. I think I'd like Laura a lot.
I do. I 100% do. I think that she was maybe the victim of a little bit of like quite strong character at the beginning, but that kind of like built that storyline for them. And then actually it is really nice to see them like come together, because it's
Do
kind
a
of like
clap.
you're forced to believe they're not going to work, and then they start to come together, and it makes it even more kind of, but I like, this is why I think they're good as a match, because I can see him getting on her nerves and then bickering, but then having like the most gorgeous moments together where they're just like making up, and they're, I don't know, I have hopes for them. I think it's going to be slow, but
I think I don't have hopes for them in the long run, and I tell you why. I don't think
okay.
that she has the time for, like, I think she wants a finished article. Are you ready? Are you complete? Done. I don't know if she's there to mother anyone or to give that, like, I did. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is not an insult at all.
Yeah,
She knows what she wants and she wants to go and get it. And
yeah,
I think good for her. And I don't think that she'll ever hold that against him. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. I think maybe they're on different points in their journey in life. That's what I think.
yeah. I know, I understand that. I can, yeah, I can see either happening really. I even if they, I feel like they're going to be one where if they're not together, I hope that they have a good relationship, because I feel like they've helped, like from what we've seen already, they're really helping each other grow, like
Yes,
loads.
they are. And I tell you what, I feel like if I wanted to pick a team player, I think I'd want Laura on my team. I feel like she'd be a
Yeah,
good person to have on your team. Like
yeah, I
she'll
agree.
she'll, she'll throw the punches. She ain't pissing about. She's strong. I like her. I like her. I liked her straight
Yeah,
away. I'm like, shh, babe. But I did like her. I did really like
yeah,
her.
yeah,
So Luke and Jay, nothing to say because you're so happy. Piss off.
yeah, yeah. Take that, love. Take it
Don't care.
elsewhere.
Not
Oh,
interested. You're too damn happy. You're too damn cute. Actually, I hate your guts.
yeah. Well, I mean, I say
Literally.
that, but equally, I want to see more of them. Like, I really like them together. They're so
So good.
similar.
She's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. And I think he's great. Like, I loved on the honeymoon as well, how they had that chat on the boat and they were like asking each other about their childhood and stuff. Like they were really trying to understand each other more. And I thought Luke was so good the way he was like asking his questions because he was like finding out a lot about her
Yeah.
so that then he could like understand her more. And obviously like the way they spoke about, you know, her disability and Luke's I think he said his father's disabled and like they just were able to have these like beautiful discussions.
Yeah.
And I feel like now they're just having a laugh and having a great time together and getting to know each other and getting intimate because they built that kind of like that solid thing on the
Yeah.
honeymoon,
Yeah.
which is like that won't go away. That doesn't just break. Like you've built a really good
You
foundation and
need
now
to
you can just
grow
go have a fucking
onto,
great
you
time.
need to build on top of. Yeah, which
Yeah.
looks amazing. No, I think they're absolutely dreamy. I think hair one-liners kill me off. A couple of his, I'm not sure about, but I, I'm
Yeah.
really here for them. I don't want them to go anywhere ever. I want them to stay all the way to the end. I want her to keep on giving me the one-liners. When last night when she's like, "It's a fucking metal spoon."
I know. I loved the moment with her and Ros. They were just sat there with their heads next to each other, like, "Oh my god, this is
But
not happening."
I actually related to that. I related to that so
Yeah,
much. Sitting there being like, "What is happening? What is going on? Are these people crazy?" Like I
yeah,
relate
over a
to that.
spoon. I
It's a
know.
spoon, bitch. We'll get to the spoon. Right. Okay. Controversial couple, I would say. Shona and Brad. If we could just remove our
I
tongues from each other's mouths, be fantastic. Thank you. If you could part for 5 minutes.
yeah, can we? Yeah, just we need to just like yeah, part their mouths now
1 second,
and again. I
guys.
feel.
Just trying to have a conversation.
Oh, I mean, good for them, but I mean, bloody
I
hell!
tell
It's.
you,
I think it's
I wish
at the
someone would let
moment.
me be like that.
Well, this is the thing, right? I want it. I just don't want to see it.
Yeah,
But
and they are in public.
right, yeah, yeah. I think it's I think obviously I'm just working out if it's lust or love. They've dropped the L bomb. I really like Shona. I think I'm getting very genuine vibes from her. Like the girl obviously wears a heart on her sleeve and she clearly does, you know, jump into things. She's admitted that, you know, very deeply, very quickly. But I do think that she thinks that he's incredible and like she is obsessed with him and what she knows so far she really likes. I just don't know if it's the other way around. I don't know if he's just saying the right things. I don't know if he feels the same
I don't
way.
know. I think he seems really invested. Actually, I think he's coming across like he's really invested in it. Um, I just think he's very much in the driver's seat, and I would like her to drive a little. I would like her to drive a little bit more. I actually really like them both. I mean,
Mm,
a little insipid for me. Like just a
yeah,
little too sweet.
it's
Stop it. Like be funny or
yeah.
something for 1 minute. Have a cracker joke. Like can't keep it's a little much, but I do actually really like them, and I think they both seem they're very interesting characters. And I
Mm,
think I'd imagine he's got some stories.
yeah. See, I don't like to say I'm not sure if he's being as genuine because I don't know him and I'm not like questioning his integrity. Like I feel like he's a very relaxed, calm guy
Yeah.
and I like him. I just I'm like he's harder to read in the way of is he kind of like more going along with it because she's got these really strong feelings and he's like, yeah, no, I really like her too, or is he also head over heels like I can't really work that bit out. I don't think he
And I
doesn't
think
like her. I think
and
that's clear. Got
I think that it's difficult for all of us to swallow "you're in love" after 3.5 seconds. But if you look at Adam and Taya, they just popped a baby. So it can happen. It
yes.
can happen. But at the moment, I am reserving what's the word? I'm reserving. I'm
Judgment.
reserved. I
Yeah, I'm
don't know.
reserved.
Like, I'm reserved on it at the moment. I'm not making my judgment yet. I'm not a judgment, but I'm gonna wait and
Mm,
see what happens with that one because at the moment, I,
yeah.
I'm not sure. It's a bit much, but it is entertaining. Slash, I'm like, stop it, stop it. But I'm looking.
I know. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Looking through my fucking fingers, like, oh, yeah,
He's fit,
really
like
like them.
he's definitely fit, and she's fit too.
Oh, they're both really fit. Like I didn't realize until Brad came on the screen. I was like, okay, wow. He is very attractive, but she is also beautiful. Like to look at, they are a phenomenal couple. Yeah, they need to have an argument. I don't want them to, but they need a real bump in the road because that will prove, you
My
know,
guess is we're not far away from that because that bubble's got to burst.
oh, it has to. It always does. There's like a two
And
week
if
pause,
they
maybe.
don't burst it, someone else will burst it for them, as we know.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
we
yeah.
always say, it does not air on TV. This is a lot more competitive than you would realize.
Was it Mel that said that she thought Shona was like almost peacocking a bit, like oh, our
It
relationship's
was.
so amazing because you when it's going great, you kind of are like that, but it can burst so quickly. Like you can be the strongest couple one week to then being the not the weakest, but yeah, you can have a massive argument, and then other people start to talk, and then it is you're right. The competitiveness doesn't come off as much. I think we know because we've been there.
Not at all. Not at all. It is
Mm,
Hunger Games vibes. So,
yeah.
moving on to Tash and Paul's bum.
Oh my gosh.
The perfect arc.
Wow.
Well, if you got
Uh,
perfect arc, perfect. He's the perfect man. He is the perfect man. No one will tell me anything less. Tash, I really
do
do
you
love you. I
think?
just don't fancy women. Paul's perfect. He's perfect. He's the perfect human being that ever walked the planet. He is perfect.
Oh,
I love
oh,
him. I'm in love with him. I'm texting him now.
I think. Oh my god. Oh my god. Here we go. I think they are both. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're both gorgeous. They are. Oh, do you know as well? Watching Tasha talk about the fact that obviously they've been like a little bit intimate and stuff, but they've not explored that fully. I love the way she spoke about that because I think that she's obviously coming from a place of she doesn't want to give everything for him to potentially turn around and be
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I don't like you anymore. Because it is such a worry. God, it happens to a lot of people all the time. And like you put a real barrier up because, God, you open yourself up to them and then they're like, oh, no, yeah, I don't like
No,
you. And you're,
it's horrible. It's horrible. I've had that so many times. Like,
uh-huh.
I found a pattern with my experience in relationships that I hold back. And they go,
Mm,
oh no, let's do this. Let's go here. Let's say this. Let's stay together. Let's stay the night. Let's do this. Do. And I'm nervously going, well, I'm not going to suggest it, but you suggest it. You suggest it. You suggest it. And then boom, I
mm,
let my guard down.
yeah,
God,
yeah, yeah.
that's how I
It's
feel
a
about
very
that.
it's a very mature way of looking at it as well. Like she's 25 years old, and I just think that the way she spoke about it was very mature, and like I really kind of appreciated the way she spoke about it because like I feel like we all struggle with that, and a lot of women struggle with that, and that, like they'll sleep with someone and then they'll get rejected, and it's a really horrible thing. And I think that I love that like they're building that trust between each other, and again they've got amazing foundations, and now they're just having a laugh. Like they're so
Oh,
themselves in front of each other. They don't care. They're like sat at the dinner table. Doesn't matter what else is going on.
but she doesn't give a shit, man. She doesn't give a shit about nothing. She is like a goal human being to me.
Yeah.
She's goal. I love her. I absolutely love her. Like my face lights up when she comes on the screen. Burst out laughing. Like she's just very, very funny. I really,
Yeah.
really rate Tash.
I think there'll be like top 5 moments or whatever from this series, but one has to be where he jumps off on the fucking bed and the slats went through. That was so funny. He literally jumped on it as well, like straight down, and it just went through the
I mean,
bottom.
that was going to happen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the way he jumped on it.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Uh,
Okay, okay, here we go. Hide your cleavage, George and Peggy.
Right, it's going to be interesting because guys, me and Adrian haven't caught up. This is like the first time we're properly catching up. Actually, we haven't really spoken about the couples. I'm intrigued to see what you think because I really like George's. George, however you say it.
George, I
George.
I really like him. He's funny. Like he would probably be at the moment. I would say he'd have more chance of getting me into bed than the majority of the others. Actually,
I I would agree.
physically, he's my vibe. He's a vibe to me.
I
Um,
I think I think he's a vibe. When I first saw his
but
picture, I
I think that some things he says, I'm like, "Are you okay?"
I'm
Like,
I'm
and
almost a
that's
bit
not a joke either. It's like not some like
no.
it was the boob stuff. I'm like, mate, like stop it. Like, shut up, man. And you've said it so many times now, just shut up. Like, but when he's not being crass, I actually find him
Mm,
very interesting and entertaining. But I think he would be hard work to maintain. But I also think he'd be irritating. But I quite like irritating in a partner.
yeah, if it's like the right match, no, I completely get what you mean because I also think those moments where he is irritating or says stupid stuff, I think he makes up for by making you laugh and like making you feel like we've seen moments with him and Peggy where he'll give her a kiss and give her like a proper squeeze, like, and they look great together. I think Peggy, I really like her. I think that the unfortunate thing about their honeymoon is they focused in on that one conversation about the adult content, and I think it meant that was their story for the whole honeymoon, and we didn't
But
really see much else.
it didn't go away though. Like they did bring it back up, and
Yes.
it was a bit like if my partner said to me, "Do you want to do OnlyFans?" I would be like, no, if my partner said to me they want to do OnlyFans, I'd be like, well, hit the road, not for me. But
Mm.
I think if I said to my partner and they said, "Well, if that's what you want to do, then I support you." He can't win, can he? Because if
I
he
Yeah,
could say, "Absolutely not, you're never doing any fans ever," and she'll say, "You can't control me," and then he'll say, "If you want to do that, you do it," and then it's like, "What? So you don't care about me?" And
mm, I I think I think you're spot on. I think he couldn't win in that scenario, and I think poor thing, he kind of thought he said the right thing, and then obviously that didn't land with Peggy.
because
I
he's saying,
don't
"I'll
think she
support
meant
you."
Yeah, I don't think she meant to offend anyone the way she said it. It's just unfortunate the way it came out because it kind of sounded like a bit of like a dig at people that do sex work, like the way she kind
That's
of
what
spoke about it.
Piggy.
And I understand the boundaries, and I think that that's great that she knows what her boundaries are and like she's vocalized them. But I think the way it came across, like you just said there, if you had that conversation, you'd be like, "It's not for me." But I wouldn't then kind of like bash anyone else in the process of saying, because a lot of people do
Yeah,
sex work and that's it's a job at the end of the day, and that's
yeah.
their decision if they want to do that. I think
'Cause
it's
I know,
unfortunate the
yeah,
way it came across
I know
because I don't
loads.
think she
Yeah, I know loads of
yeah
adult content creators in Manchester alone. I know loads of them.
yeah
And you know what? They earn more money than me.
Whew,
Tell
they
you
are
that. I tell
absolutely
you that.
appalling.
Winner.
Yeah,
Do you know what? I'm going to do
yeah,
it. Do it.
i I get
I'm
I
doing
get tempted
anything.
every day. No, I mean, I always say like it's not for me personally, but I support and back anyone that makes that decision to do that. But that's just a
We are
personal
both
opinion.
quite like that, aren't we? In the way that we speak and think, and we're very much
Mm.
like that. Like, you go for your life, babe. Not for me,
Yeah,
but you go for it.
yeah, not
Like,
me,
it's not
but
something that hasn't not crossed my mind. I would
yes,
consider doing OnlyFans. Why not?
yeah,
Why not? It's not like I've even got a George here to moan at me. Like, I got nothing. So
yeah. It's exactly, yeah. No, it's on you. I think it was, yeah. I think hopefully that whole conversation will be moved on from, and we'll just see more of their relationship, because I think that it is getting to a stage where it's really sweet, and I think she's a sensitive soul, and I think that she's lives with her parents, and like she has that life where I don't think she does go out and date and things like that, and this is a huge thing for her and marrying this guy. And I think that she was just expressing her boundaries, but it just came off in a bit of an unfortunate way. But
just thinking
then
about it, I think I'm actually going to ask George if he wants to do OnlyFans with me. I'm going to do it.
I I like him. I think, yeah, some of the comments on the wedding day, I was like, it was just because I know that we can all say some things and then they air it and it doesn't quite look like the joke that we were telling at the time. But if you say things like it again and again and again in a different way, then you have obviously said that many times. Like, I struggle when it's like multiple times, because if it's one time, I think, okay, fair enough, you know, whatever. But if it's like a comment, a few different comments, which it was from him, it's a bit like, but I did hold my judgment back just because I know what the weddings are like, and
Yes.
I'm glad that I did. And when I read his brief, like, because my brother used to game and stuff, and he used to have like a Twitch channel and stuff like that, and like loads of his friends did. So like, and that's what you're right over
I
there.
was going to sneeze. So I'm trying to stop sneezing. No, go on.
And I think that when I saw George, I keep saying it's not the S on the end. Can't speak.
George,
Thank you, George. When I read
I
his thing,
think.
it almost reminded me a bit of my brother and stuff, like, because my brother's so like kind of like wacky and wonderful and like says how he feels and like is a really, really amazing personality. And I think I was just holding out to see what George was like, because he just reminded me of him a bit. And I was like, I'm going to give him a chance just because I think he's going to be a really nice guy under this bravado. But yeah, I like them. I'm excited for them. But I think
I
that
think they're,
that
I
could be
definitely
the
think they're
night.
entertaining. Definitely think they're entertaining. I like them both. I do like them both so far. I hope he doesn't continue to say those sorts of things. But
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, the gaming thing though, I don't get why it was almost like it was this like I was very confused by it because I was like, why is this like sexual deviance? Ain't he just playing a game and squatting against the wall like an idiot and setting his
It's
nipples on fire with
yeah.
an electric thing? Like, there's nothing. I don't. This isn't. It's not a dominatrix. It's not. But it
No.
feels sexual. It feels like you've made it sexual. But I don't. My
It's
brain was like, I don't understand what's happening here.
I know, like I said, I think because my brother and his friends used to like game and do stuff like this, like I know what they do. Like, and he lived in a house where like they would do like overnight streams and things like that. They do like 24-hour streams, or like, and you basically, like, the more people that are in them, if anyone gifts money, you do stupid, silly things, and that's all. It's all it is. It's not a sexual thing whatsoever. I think that she obviously was, she'd had the OnlyFans chat, and then that happened. And I think in her brain, she was obviously very, set on this kind of,
Yes.
but she was obviously going through it, I think. And it just
Yeah.
was a lot.
But good luck to George and Peggy. George and Peggy. And finally, with the tea comes a spoon.
Spoongate.
Spoon gate! Oh, I did a stupid TikTok yesterday of me smashing a spoon against my head. I
I
actually
mean,
met Porsha this week, and she
ooh,
was a lovely, lovely little dream. Like, I fancied the pants off her. She had hold of my hand within 2.5 seconds. She was so like tactile and so lovely. She was so
wow.
gentle. She was like, "Look at you, you're gorgeous." I was like, "Oh, you can stay." Loved her. Actually, loved her.
Interesting. I think what happens is, obviously, when you're potentially put with someone and you can't really understand the match, or you're having a lot of like arguments and things like that, obviously you're not bringing out the best in each other. Like, the point is, you want a relationship, obviously, where you both add value to each other and you are the best version of yourself when
Yeah,
you're around them, and they make you into a better person. When you're not getting on, you're not giving off that. And I think because they've not been getting on, they've obviously been arguing and clashing a lot. I don't think they've been the best versions of themselves. And obviously with Porsche, I feel like, I mean, the girl is pretty dramatic. I will say that.
oh, she loves the drama, the melodrama. But I will say, like, I think the way that it was going, at arrival of the dinner party, she could have to the rest of them, she could have come off worse. But the fact that he did go over to the sofa and say hello to the other girls, that
Yeah.
I'm like, whether she was silly about the spoon or not, I don't care. Like, you literally don't go over to the girls if you don't want to say hello to her. Don't say hello to anyone. But don't ignore her physical being, her literal
Mm.
existence. Don't ignore it. And that then turns me against him.
My only thing with that is, I do wonder whether he tried to catch her eye or give her a little look, and unfortunately they didn't have that communication, so then he went and said hello to everyone else and he did miss her out. Even so, obviously he can still say a proper hello and take her to one side. We did see him go over to her later in the evening, but what I think happened was, because it
Later.
was missed at the beginning, it just like it ended up blowing it up even more. So then at
So
that
much
point
more.
it was a bit of a no-go. I wasn't sure about how she because she kind of stood up and then spoke to the group as if he was in the room, but he wasn't in the room. And I just think that it's difficult when you've got two people and then one of them's just telling a story about the other person in that way. But I think that unfortunately, because of the way the evening went, they were just not on the same page whatsoever.
I don't know. Hopefully they will get on the same page. I think they could.
Yeah.
I think they could, because they're very opposite in like every sense of life. Which therefore, then I see an opportunity to grow, an opportunity for each other to learn from each other, different things. So, if anything, I get that Married at First Sight is about finding your wife and your husband and your lifetime partner, but there's also, as we know, while you're there, you have opportunity to learn, to grow, to gain from each other and from the experience and from the process and from the other contributors. So I think that they could learn a lot from each other, and let's hope that they do.
Yeah, we've seen couples both in the UK one, the Australian one, where they are carnage at the beginning, and it's yeah, here's living proof. And then, well, I mean, I was going to say it can get better, but it's still a journey. But like once they get these arguments and stuff out the way, and once they got on the same page about stuff, because she clearly has things that she wants, in her partner, and he has things that he wants, and they're not matching up at the moment, but they can get to a place where at least they like have that level of respect for one another. And she obviously did feel very disrespected by what happened. It affected her a lot. She was very upset in the commitment ceremony, and she did voice that. Obviously, he said leave, she said stay, so they both stay another week. But I think this is make or break, and I think if they can get on this week and connect a bit more,
Hopefully.
we'll see.
I think
It's
at the
quite
moment they
difficult
are
for me,
judging.
yeah.
I think at the moment they are judging each other on like surface level shit, and maybe they'll find something a little deeper in common. Let's hope that that's what happens. Because at the moment it's all like, you don't fit this, you don't fit this, you don't fit this, you don't fit this. Do you know what I mean? What about what's
Yeah.
inside?
Yeah, they need to do a Luke and Jay boat trip and ask each other about their
Yeah,
childhoods
they
and
kind
stuff.
of do. They need to soften for each other, but at the moment they are. Is it called loggerheads? Is that what you say?
They're at loggerheads.
Yeah, that. Not lager. Someone wants a pint.
Lager.
I'm gonna have a pint.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that is it. That is everyone. We are done.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have so many to talk about. There's like 4 intruder couples that are gonna come in. It's gonna be wild.
I know. We're gonna have to boot some of these out soon, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean,
Your estimation.
unfortunately,
Who is going to go first?
I think Porsha and Terrence, if they don't have a good week, but I think Terrence could change his mind. I don't know. Who's
I'm just
gonna
looking
go
at my list.
first? Hmm?
I'm just looking at my list.
What do you
If
think?
I think if Nathaniel and Ella keep on blowing up, that will be tricky.
Mm.
I think Tash and Paul, never, no chance.
Yeah.
No, I think Porsche, I think Nathaniel or Ros and Thomas. Ros and Thomas, if they don't get onto a page, you can't carry on like that. So if they don't get onto a page together, then that would just be too uncomfortable and painful. Like, at least if you look at like Ella and Nathaniel, they're not uncomfortable around each other. Like, they're
I
still
don't know. I don't know that they are though. I think that
Thomas
they're just
and
both.
Thomas and
I mean,
Ros.
I,
They
I,
are.
I'm
They
not
are.
sure. I think they're just like very interesting personalities and characters, and they're getting to know each other. Some people aren't all over each other straight away,
They are
but
uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. They are uncomfortable. You can spin this whatever way you want. They are uncomfortable around each other. And that is not to say that they are not both gorgeous, and it is not a criticism. And I bet they both really like each other. They just need, I want them to, but they need to stop being so uncomfortable about each other. But, maybe, the fact that they've, got on a different page now with the boogie that they had. Hopefully that'll get better. I hope it does, because I really like them both. I said from the start, I can't remember who I said it to. I said it on Instagram or something. I think Thomas was one of my favourites, and he still kind of is.
Yeah,
Same.
same. I mean, apart from
A gem.
Yeah, apart from the cats, that was the thing I said about him. He's a feline person than a
Oh
dog
my
person.
gosh, yeah. I'm not a fan of cats either, to be honest. I like dogs.
Yeah.
Cats
See,
scare me. Nah.
Yeah, they're not very nice. But yeah, I liked them both from the beginning. But I have hope. I think they're going to go on a bit of a journey. But yeah.
Pick one. Who's going first? Pick one. 3, 2, 1, go!
Porsha and Terrence. Porsha and Terrence.
Same.
Okay.
Same.
Let's see how that ages next week.
Yeah. Let's see. But other than that, guys, what do you all think? What do you all want to know? Who do you want us to talk to on the podcast? We've got quite a few coming up. Who do you want? What do you want us to ask them? Please click subscribe. Please click subscribe. Whether it's on YouTube or a podcast or anywhere. Click, 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 click.
Click, click, click. Yeah, and please, share with everyone. Tell us what you think, who we want on, all of that. All of that.
All that tea.